All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. Nick Marro here with Smitty and Occupy Fantasy. As always, helping you break down the NBA DFS main slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel. We got a nice big slate tonight. I think 9 games on DK, 11 over on FanDuel. Really wish FanDuel would just chop off these late games, is what it is. But as always, we're going to go through game by game for you guys, give our favorite plays. At the end, time permitting, we'll do a dummy build on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Probably certainly get to DraftKings. But yeah, a lot to talk about, Smitty. We'll get right into it. But any initial thoughts on this slate as we dive in here?
No, seems like a pretty good slate. Kind of a lot of news we're waiting on as well, so it should be a fun one.
Yeah, so moving parts for sure. So as you guys know throughout the video, feel free to get your questions in. But we try to go game by game. So try to ask your questions when we're speaking about the specific games. I'll try to jump around to the best of my ability, but going to be tough. Some quick shouts out here. Ben Jizzy, appreciate you, my man. Anyone happy to see Giddy shoot around? Let us know how he looks with that finger. Yeah, he is questionable. That's one of our injuries we're keeping an eye on. Jose, appreciate you bringing that up. Heath, as always, appreciate you, my man. HB Cards, long-time member, appreciate you as well. So let's get into it, man. Only a couple games in this 7 o'clock window on the East Coast. Here we got the Cleveland Cavs taking on the Detroit Pistons. Cavs are slight favorites on the road. For Cleveland, no Lonzo Ball. That's a bit of a new development. Darius Garland and Max Strus are still out. So a little bit of extra usage for maybe guys like Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley's been taking more shots this year. They look good. The one guy I want to highlight before I throw it over to you, Smith, he's actually Sam Merrill. I mean, he's been starting. Not usually the type of player I like because he's so scoring dependent, but with these guards out, I mean, he's someone I think for value I want to get a decent amount of here. Only 4,900 on DK, 4,400 on FanDuel, and no one seems to be rostering him. I like Merrill. Obviously, Mobley, Mitchell look fine to me as well. But yeah, how you feeling about Cleveland? Detroit does have a decent defense, but they are in back to back.
Yeah, I think Cleveland's pretty interesting. I think they're all GPP plays, but like you said, Merrill definitely in play. He's been playing well. No Lamelo, or no, not Lamelo. No Lonzo should help him
Yeah.
a little bit, especially when he's out there in the second unit. Just they're going to need him to handle the ball a little bit more. And then mainly it's Mobley for me. I don't mind taking shots on Donovan Mitchell, but I think Mobley's pretty good here. I kind of need them to be really good plays just because they're taking up a roster spot early.
hmm Yeah, and on these slates where we're waiting for news, I mean, you got to really justify getting these guys in. So someone like Merrill, maybe not necessary if we get some of this news to break the way we think it will. One more name I'll mention before we move on to Detroit here is Craig Porter. With ball out, I do think he could maybe see a few extra minutes. He's dirt cheap. I don't know. He's played all right. We haven't seen him play 20 minutes yet, but 22 fantasy points against my Nets on the 24th, 15 against the Bucks. I don't know, Smitty. I know we don't like to play value in the early games, but if you're playing 150, you think Craig Porter could maybe crack Ethereum items?
Yeah, he's someone I wouldn't remove from my pool. Just with no Lonzo out there, I think it really helps secure his minutes.
Yep, I'm right there with you. Tough to call him a priority, but certainly a name to keep an eye on. Over on the Detroit side of things, Cade Cunningham was questionable at one point. He's probable, which is good to see. But Sasser, Levert both ruled out. Still no Jaden Ivey. I mean, we're probably going to see Duncan Robinson start again. He's been pretty useless. Not really interested in him. I mean, Cade is Cade. Always happy to get to him, especially at low ownership. Excuse me. This is a tough matchup, though. Oscar Thompson does feel a little bit cheap for his upside. We have seen his minutes tick up this year, coming off a great game against the Celtics where the Pistons were able to get that win. 45 fantasy points in 36 minutes. I don't know if they limited him at all on a back-to-back. We kind of have to wait and see on that. I don't think they will, though, with Levert and Sasser out. So Thompson, for me, probably the one Piston I'm getting to. Don't mind Duren. He's been in and out of foul trouble. This is the type of matchup against Cleveland where that could be an issue, though. So, yeah, it's some Cade for me, a little bit of Thompson. Don't think Duren's crazy, but I doubt I get there. The FanDuel price is pretty damn tempting, though, at 5,900. Smitty, any Pistons for you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. Cade and Asar, pretty much the only ones in play, but on FanDuel, I do think Duran's in play. You have Aiton with no Lakers on FanDuel, so it kind of makes it harder to play him, but I don't mind getting to a little bit in my MME sets.
Yeah. ZH here, still working out a few technical difficulties. I'm trying to zoom in on the model a little bit so you can see it a bit better. Hopefully that helped. Let me know, man. But let's get into the second game here at 7 o'clock. We got the Orlando Magic taking on the 76ers. Looking at the total here, 227.5 points. Magic are favored on the road because the Sixers are missing a lot of bodies today. But let's start with Orlando, probably the easier team to talk about. No Mo Wagner, Colin Castleton, or Jamal Cain for them. Not that any of those names mean all that much. So they're pretty much healthy. They are getting Suggs back, who did sit out for a game. He's still on a minutes limit. Wendell Carter, I mean, he's cheap. The model tends to like him every single day. And this matchup's a little more favorable with no Embiid, so I don't think it's crazy to maybe get to him. I don't mind Paulo on DK, especially where his price hasn't really come up all that much. But I don't know, man. Just tough for me to really prioritize any of these Magic, even in a matchup that's maybe a bit better than people are thinking on paper with Philly missing a few bodies. It's just they're all kind of priced where they should be, right? So I'm fine with some of Orlando. Really nothing standing out to me, though. How about you?
Yeah, that's how I am too. I think you could play any of Palo, Franz, or Bane. I think they're all fine GPP plays. I don't love any of them. And then you mentioned Wendell Carter. I do think he's a pretty good tournament play. It's just hard because he's center only, and it's a pretty big slate where we're waiting on news. But the minutes have been there for him, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we know he can spike a ceiling. Goga behind him too has had a few big games already this year. I guess a name worth mentioning. But again, value in early games means you're not going to get the value in the late games as news breaks. So proceed with caution on that. On the Philly side, though, no Dominic Barlow, no Joel Embiid. Obviously, Paul George still out. Jared McCain and Trendon Watford are unavailable as well. So yeah, I mean, Maxi projected for as many minutes as I think anyone is in the model today. Not the best matchup, but he's been excellent. VJ Edgecombe, early front runner for Rookie of the Year, looks great on both sides. Way too cheap on FanDuel at 6K. Those are two I have circled. Oubre's fine, the kind of price where he should be on DK, in my opinion. Very much boomer bust. But Drummond is the interesting piece to me here. I don't know that he starts or not, but obviously such a good fantasy point per minute producer that I don't know that it matters. Adam Bona could get the start. I wouldn't have interest in Bona as the starter. I kind of have interest in Drummond either way, but I'm hoping he starts just for my own peace of mind. At the same time, that's going to drive up his ownership. So it's kind of a catch 22, like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I'm going to get to a ton of Edgecombe, even on DK where he's more expensive. I like Maxi. It's just I'm kind of prioritizing other pay ups. But that three in the model here, Maxi, Edgecombe, Drummond, I'm really getting to. Then I will say the Grimes price, 4,800, 2K cheaper than he is on DK. Definitely something to consider. But yeah, Smitty, go ahead and run through these 76ers for us.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. The center situation, they're going to split it either way. So even if Drummond comes off the bench, you're going to see reduced ownership, but it's possible he even closes. So I have some interest in Drummond. And then Bona, I think, is fine. Prefer him on FanDuel where you get the stocks. He's pretty good in that regard. And then Jabari Walker likely starts here, or they might go small and start Grimes. But Walker's not really someone I want to get to very much. I don't think the minutes will really be very secure. I think they'll just play more Grimes, mix Justin Edwards in more, which kind of makes them all kind of whatever. But I do think Grimes is good on FanDuel. His minutes should be good. And then, like you said, Edgecombe and Maxi. Prefer Edgecombe just because of the price, but I really like Maxi here too. I'm going to be over the field.
Yeah, Maxi looks great. Shouts out, we got Big Ed, Swerve Baby, Unicorn, just pulling up your comments as we go through here. But yeah, man, even if Walker starts, I do think Edwards is probably going to outplay him in terms of minutes. Like, we saw Edwards starting for long stretches last year, so definitely something to keep an eye on. But either way, I'm not really getting to either of them. Jose here, this is a good test for Edgecombe with a good defense on him. I'm going to stay away for now, but if he passes test, be easier to roster next time. I mean, that's true, Jose, but I think it's kind of offset by all these guys being out of the lineup because increased usage for him is going to go a long way. Nick Bass, appreciate you, my man. My mic's kind of low. I do have a new microphone. I'll try to get a little closer to it. Hopefully that helps guys talk a little bit louder. But yeah, definitely some spots here to look at for the 76ers. But let's go ahead and get to this 8 o'clock window now. So there's actually a little bit of a break. So we get the two 7 o'clock games. Then we go nothing at 7:30, then a bunch of games at 8 o'clock. First of them being the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Chicago Bulls. Hawks are actually slight road favorites here. Very high total of 242.5 points. Atlanta, Jalen Johnson's questionable. That's a big one. So is Kristaps Porzingis and Zachary Rissachet. So we got some news here we need to keep an eye on. Trey's been okay, definitely passing more than he's shooting this season. Jalen Johnson has been good, but again, he's questionable. We got to keep an eye on this. Dyson Daniels has been a major disappointment, but I'm sure big games from him are coming. But yeah, man, I mean, Alexander Walker, the price came up. But if all these other guys are out, I think I'm fine going back to him. Other than that, I don't know that anything's standing out, but I do think the field is probably too low on Atlanta right now. Is there a way you're getting to this team to maybe get over this low ownership?
Not really. I kind of lean they all just play, but you never know. This is a good game environment. Their prices came up, which hurts, but I don't mind taking shots on like Porzingis or Jalen Johnson are probably my two favorite. Trey Young, kind of just need to see it before I roster him, but I think Johnson, Porzingis, and then Ricochet, assuming he's good to go, he's kind of a mid range play you could go to.
Yeah, I'm with you. If they're all healthy, I think Porzingis would actually be my favorite just because of the forward eligibility and the price. If all these guys are out, again, I think Alexander Walker and Okongwu would both be pretty appealing. Again, really good matchup here against the Chicago Bulls. Seeing some ownership concentrated on these Bulls here. We got Zach Collins out, Trenton Flowers out. Josh Giddey is questionable. So Jose brought this up earlier. Waiting to see how that looks. His finger is banged up, so you think he'd be able to play with it, but maybe it affects his shooting ability. Kobe White's still out as well. That's definitely notable. The one guy I have circled, kind of regardless of whether Giddy's in or not, is going to be Trey Jones, especially on DK. He is a different player on this team, and I mean, I'll hold my L's. We got one coming up in my next Nets game. I was totally wrong about Cam Thomas, but yeah, I really do like Trey on this team. I thought he was the best point guard that Pop had when he was coaching the Spurs, and he trying to make Sochan point guard a thing forever, which is really stupid. He's my favorite player tonight for the Bulls. Buzelis on DK, though, definitely too cheap. He's been running into some foul trouble, which kind of hurts the game logs if you're looking at him there. But really, really affordable at 5,300. He's fine on FanDuel as well, honestly. Those two stand out. I don't mind mixing in some Vooch. They did say they're going to limit his minutes a little bit this season. I haven't seen it yet, but it's something to keep an eye on. And then Herder, I'm hoping he starts to start over Okoro just because he's a better fantasy producer. This is a bit of a revenge game for him, so maybe something to keep an eye on. But yeah, for me, all the Trey Jones on DK. I do like Buzelis. He does feel a little bit overowned. But I mean, he's too cheap, so it is what it is. Smitty, how are you feeling about the Bulls?
Yeah, it's a good game environment, so I like getting to the Bulls. If Giddy's out, then I'll play even more Trey Jones, but I'm going to have quite a bit either way. I think Matos is a good play either way as well. I think Gideon actually is probably good for Matos in general, but it's mainly Trey and Matos for me. But like you said, if Herder draws the start, he's pretty interesting. Even Io, even off the bench, I think he's a pretty solid play where he's shooting guard, small forward eligible. So kind of like getting to all the Bulls here.
Yeah, man. I mean, 242 total, even in today's NBA, that's very high. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the next 8 o'clock game here. We got my Nets taking on the Houston Rockets. So earlier in the season, I was like, I don't know. I think the Nets maybe nerfed the minutes of Cam Thomas a little bit, try to drive his price down. Maybe they could resign him, or I don't know. They just nerf him because they're petty, but it seems like they're letting him just do whatever he wants. 40 points yesterday against the Spurs looked awesome. His price hasn't really come up. This is a tough matchup here against the Houston Rockets. But before I get into him, let's go through the injuries. We got no Igor Demin, who I'm still learning how to pronounce his name, as talented as the kid is. Haywood Smith, Highsmith, Drake Powell, Zaire Williams, and Danny Wolf all out here as well. So again, on Cam, I think he's going to continue to shoot. Ceiling's always going to be high for him. Floor is always going to be low, but definitely someone you can mix in. Very tough matchup here. Michael Porter Jr., another guy. If this game's going to be competitive, those two are probably guys you're going to want to have in lineups. Other than that, it gets tough. I will say with Igor out, Roth is someone I want to maybe consider, but I don't think he sees enough of a minutes boost to necessarily be viable in fantasy. Again, he's been starting at point. Igor kind of comes in and plays more than he has. This is a young team. Jordy's really kind of flattening their minutes, which is unfortunate because they do have upside at these prices, point per dollar. But really, I don't mind mixing in a little Cam MPJ. Claxton's not crazy. Just don't love the matchup. This Houston Rockets defense is tough. One of the biggest favorites on the board here, too. So there is some blowout risk. Smitty, any nuts for you?
No, pretty similar. I think mainly it's Cam Thomas. Like if I'm looking for a low owned tournament play, other than that, I mean, it's pretty brutal just because of the big rotation. Like MPJ, if this game's close, then either him or Cam Thomas probably got there. So I think you could play either one of them in specific lineups.
Yep, totally. And yeah, like I said, I initially thought they maybe nerf Cam, but now it seems like maybe they could get a first rounder for him on a very team friendly contract for 1 year. So he's probably going to continue to shoot as much as he can. On the Houston side of things, obviously Van Fleet's going to be out for a while. Other than that, just Finney Smith on the injury report. So this is a healthy squad. Good matchup. Obviously, some blowout risk here. Not the highest total either at 224 points. Sengun's good, man. I mean, I just don't know that I can get to him over someone like Wemby, who we'll talk about in a little bit. Durant feels about priced where he should be. Steven Adams, really solid value. I would prefer to have him in a competitive matchup, though. Definitely some risk in going to him here, but he is a pivot if we start to see those Philly bigs starting to draw significant ownership. I don't mind going to a little bit of Adams. He's been playing more minutes than expected, but other than that, not much. I will mention Reed Shepard, obviously a fan favorite of the preseason crowd. This guy can go off any minute. And if this game were to blow out, probably someone who gets some run into the fourth and is still in the rotation in a competitive game, one of those hybrid type players we like to highlight. So not much for me here. Don't mind Adams, though. He's probably the one I might get to. Maybe a little bit of Reed, but just a tough spot like where they could very easily blow the Nets out. Nets are also on a back-to-back.
Yeah, you said it well. I think it's pretty tough. Like someone from Houston probably does get there, even if they do blow them out. But good luck finding out who. Like Sengun has a really good matchup, but he might only play 3 quarters. But like you said, Reed Shepard. If it was a smaller slate, like say there's a turbo at that on that window, I think he's definitely in play. On this big of a slate, it's kind of hard to go there, but he's someone I'm going to leave in my pool.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, so let's just keep chugging right along here. We got another 8 o'clock game. Boston Celtics on a back-to-back taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Celtics have Jaylen Brown listed as questionable on the injury report. That's definitely something we're going to need to keep an eye on. Obviously, no Jason Tatum for the year. It's tough, man. I think if they're healthy here, you could get to some Brown. I think he's priced where he should be. He feels a little bit cheap on FanDuel. Derek White has not been shooting the ball well, but he's taking the shots. They're going to fall eventually. Fine getting to Pritchard. Again, those three have been solid. And then name is Keita. Again, another cheap center who has upside. Don't love the spot for him, but he has shown that he can be better than a fantasy point per minute. On such a big slate, I don't know, though. So if Brown's in, probably not much here except Brown. If Brown's out, Pritchard and White would see a pretty considerable boost in terms of their upside. But it's kind of tough until we have that news. Smitty, any thoughts on the Celtics?
Yeah, I lean Brown sits, so that's how I'm playing this late. It don't really matter. It's just going to kind of help me get more exposure to these later games, and then I can adjust from there. But I don't want to take all my roster spots up on the 2 early games. So I'm playing as Brown sitting. So I have a boost on Pritchard, Derek White mainly. The value plays that would come up aren't real significant, but it's mainly I just want more Pritchard and White in my lineups. But I prefer Pritchard at his price. White's kind of priced appropriately. If Brown's out, then he's still a good play. But if Brown's in, I think he's fine.
Yeah, totally with you, man. We'll wait and see. I don't know. It seems like he could sit here, but you never know with Jalen. Over on the Pelican side, kind of a similar situation, right? Zion is questionable. Obviously, if he's in, he's a good play. If he's out, it's going to boost the other starters. I mean, Jordan Poole, I don't know, probably not for me. I'd rather go to Pritchard. Trey Murphy's a little bit too pricey for my taste. Just no ownership going here. I mean, the Celtics are still good defensively. I do think they're taking a step back this year, losing the likes of Horford and Tatum. But yeah, just a team that's kind of priced appropriately, right? The one guy I'd be interested in, actually, there's two. If Zion's out, both Derek Queen and Sadiq Bey, I think, are worth mentioning. Bey has been super underprojected by the industry. Didn't play great against San Antonio, but he's pushing 30 fantasy points in his 2 games prior. Getting that sub 5K at either forward position is pretty useful. And I think if Zion's out, he could start. So that would be one I definitely want to get to in that situation. I think even with Zion in, you could use him as a tournament flyer. But Derek Queen's the other. If Zion's out, had one really good game against the Spurs, pushed 30 fantasy points. I think Missy missed that one as well. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, he did. So with Missy in and Zion out, I don't know that we get the same Queen performance as last time. It might actually be more Bay for me. But Smitty, go ahead and break down the Pels.
Yeah, same with Brown. I'm kind of playing as Zion's out just because I want the roster spots. But yeah, I think Bay looks pretty good, even coming off the bench. Assuming he don't draw the start, I think he's pretty good. There was a picture by the Pelicans that had Fears in a starter's jersey, so I think he's
Hmm.
actually pretty interesting. Assuming he starts for Zion, that means they would be going pretty small. But it kind of makes sense. You don't have to go real big against this Boston team. So I'm kind of playing for the Fears start. So I'm boosting Fears the most. But I think it kind of makes everybody pretty interesting on this team.
Yeah, Fear's talented rookie. We've seen him produce decent fantasy point per minute, so definitely someone I could see getting to. Don't mind that at all. So yeah, we'll wait and see on that news. Could be some good value in there for the Pels, but let's keep chugging along here. We got the Toronto Raptors taking on the Spurs, 232.5 point total. Spurs are favorites at home. Before we get to Wemby and his squad here, let's start with Toronto. We got Jakob Poeltl available. He was questionable at one point. No AJ loss, and really nothing else significant to talk through. A little bit crowded here in this starting lineup. These are the Raptors when they're healthy are one of these teams where it's like tough to know who to go to. I think total Barnes, Ingram, Barrett, quickly. There's a case to be made for any of them, but they're all kind of priced appropriately. It's tough to say one really stands out. I will say Ingram at his price probably my favorite of the bunch. At the same time, can't really call him a priority, especially in this matchup. Smitty, any love for Toronto for you here?
Yeah, kind of similar. This team's just kind of hard to project, really. But if I'm playing anyone, it's probably Ingram. You could always play Scotty and hope for a ceiling game, but it's probably one of the big three, like Barnes, Ingram, or Quickly. Jakob Poeltl's in play, but it's mainly one of them three. But I lean Ingram over all of them.
Yeah, just point per dollar. I like Ingram. He's been super aggressive too. Scotty's happy to kind of to play point or just hang out under the rim. We got the Spurs here. No De'Aaron Fox, no Luke Cornett, no Kelly Olynyk, Jeremy Sochan, or Lindy Waters. Top play, if index tonight is Nikola Jokic. But if you're on DK, the top play is going to be actually no. Jokic is on both sides. So Jokic is still one in the model. But I think you and me agree. I think Wemby right now is the priority. I think we're taking a little bit of time to kind of catch up to what he's been doing. Absolutely tremendous so far. Good matchup here too for him. I'm not really worried about this defense. 70 plus fantasy points in two of his three games and 67 in the one he didn't get there. Only played 32 minutes. Just an absolute beast. If I'm jamming any expensive play in, even at chalk tonight, it's going to be Wemby. Totally want to get to him. My second favorite is probably Dylan Harper off the bench. I just like what he's been doing with his minutes point per dollar. Obviously, Castle and Seller fine, but to me, Harper's kind of the second guy I have circled. But it looks like the field's kind of there as well. So I was hoping that would be like a good way to get different. Doesn't seem like it at all. But those two I have circled. They'll be in a lot of my lineups. Wemby especially, by far my favorite pay up here. Smitty, how you handling the Spurs?
Yep, exactly the same. I'm going to have Wimby in the majority of my lineups, even on FanDuel where he's more expensive. Just having that power forward eligibility there helps a ton. Like you play Jokic, fine, but I think Wimby's the priority here. I prefer going to Wimby, and then Dylan Harper, like you said, off the bench is going to be another staple in my lineups. Pending the late news, he might become a little bit worse of a play, but as of right now, I think he's a really good play.
Yep. Right there with you, man. McCord, we'll get to the Lakers in a little bit, even though that game's just on FanDuel. We will touch on it. Nola for Bain over Harper or Jones? I would rank them Harper, Bain, then Jones, I think, in that order. Jose. Smitty, are you getting that much Bain? I just think he's priced where he should be, where I think Harper's too cheap.
Yeah, I'm same.
And I think you meant Herbert, but if you meant Trey Jones on DK, I'd actually rank Trey above them both. So, not sure which Jones. Jose, there's a bunch of them. Yeah, Unicorn. This was foul trouble. So just make note of that. He was in. I think he had 3 fouls in like 4 minutes or something stupid. Yep, HB got it. Appreciate you guys answering each other's questions in here. Yeah, Courtney, you can get the Castle. He's been solid. The price is just a little bit inflated. Prefer him at power forward AL just because there's more centers to get to, I think, tonight. But you can play him anywhere, honestly. Just get him in your lineups, in my opinion. We are through the 8 o'clock window. Let's get into 8:30 now. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Pretty fun matchup here, but OKC are missing some key pieces. Alex Caruso is going to be out. Holmgren is in and available, but no Isaiah Joe, Sorber, Topic, Jalen Williams, or Kenrich Williams. A lot of that's not news. I think Caruso being out is kind of the one significant piece, but no real surprise there. As is always the case, if you can afford SGA, I think he's solid. I do think it's worth mentioning they're changing his rotation a little bit this year. In years past, he played the first quarter entirely. Now it seems like they take him out halfway through, stagger him a little bit with some of these other guys, and he's playing more in the second quarter. What this means is that in blowouts, he's going to be worse. Not that that's something we have to worry about here tonight, just something to keep in mind moving forward. I'm fine getting to him if you can afford him. Casey Wallace, I think at his price is viable off of some of these other guards we're discussing as a pivot. Chet has been really solid lately, but again, just kind of a team that's priced where they should be. Not the highest total. Good tournament plays though, right? Just a little bit under owned and guys like Chet, Kaysen, SGA, but no real priorities for me, Smitty. How about you?
Yeah, you said it well. Just tournament plays. You can always play SGA. He's only 500 cheaper than Wimby, so it's kind of tough for me. But if the news breaks correctly, you're able to fit both of them, and then you can mix it up with like a Jokic. So I think SGA's my main play here. Other than that, it's kind of tough to get to anybody. Chet could be a GPP play.
For sure. Over on the Dallas side of things, we got no Dante Exum, Daniel Gafford, and Derek Lively are both doubtful. Kyrie Irving obviously out, no Brandon Williams either. So yeah, a little bit thin in the front court here. AD kind of priced where he should be. Another guy you can maybe mix in. Cooper Flag does finally seem to start breaking out a little bit, but in that same breath, his price is climbing. Tough to call him a priority. The really interesting play here to me, and it never feels good, is D'Angelo Russell. Finally got extended run last night. Played 29 minutes against Toronto, 45 fantasy points. Jason Kidd in press conferences is like, yeah, we have to play Cooper at the one because we don't have a point guard. I mean, say what you will about D'Lo, but he can play the point, and it's probably better for Flag to be playing off the ball. So I think he's finally figuring out that that's the way to go. So we're going to see better games out of Flag, probably better games out of D'Lo, who's very cheap, but the field does seem to be getting there. I don't mind mixing him in. Again, I don't think he's going to start regardless, but even coming off the bench, someone I do want to get some exposure to. Probably just a little D'Lo, maybe some Davis for me. Flag's fine, but again, kind of priced where he should be. No real priorities for me on Dallas. How about you, Smith?
Yeah, really tough matchup. But yeah, you said it well. I think AD and then D'Lo are pretty much it. PJ Washington's fine with both bigs out. I think it's possible he even sees some center minutes. So I'm okay with PJ. It's mainly them three. Kind of not really into Flag on this big of a slate.
Yep, totally with you. I mean, again, we'll see good games out of Flag, but he's priced where he should be. He's not going to stand out until, I don't know, he's on a smaller slate. We got the Suns here taking on the Jazz in the 9 o'clock window. Again, we're still on the DK slate. These very light games are FanDuel only. Big news here. Dylan Brooks is questionable. He's been taking a million shots with Jalen Green out. Jalen Green obviously still out for this team as well. They've been in some blowouts, which has kind of capped the ceiling with someone like Devin Booker. I don't mind maybe mixing Booker in. There's just so many guards I have ranked ahead of him. Even in this matchup at a reasonable price, like guys like Maxey, who we just talked about, SGA, if you could find the salary, I'd have ranked ahead of him. And he's drawn a ton of ownership. So I get it. I think he's a good play, but it's tough for me to prioritize him over these other guards. I do have Brooks a lot at his price if he's in, but if he's out, Royce O'Neal, I think he's the biggest bump with him off the floor, would probably slide into the starting lineup. Very useful too as a sub 5K forward on both sides. So if Brooks is in, Brooks is my favorite play here. Brooks is out, Royce O'Neal's probably my favorite play. You can mix in a little Grayson Allen. I just think the price is a bit too high on him right now. Smitty, how are you handling Phoenix here in the 9 o'clock window?
Yep, I'm pretty similar. I think Brooks is a fine play if he plays, and then Royce is probably pretty decent either way, but he looks a lot better if Dylan Brooks were to miss. Grayson's kind of priced correctly on DraftKings. You could still play him, but on FanDuel where he's 800 cheaper, I think he looks better there. After that, it's like you said. I think the ownership for Booker is kind of high, even though this is a really good matchup, projected to be a pretty close game. So I don't mind taking shots, but he's not my favorite spend up.
Yep, I'm totally with you, man. Again, it is a great spot. Utah, not the best defensive team this year. Tonight they're going to be without Isaiah Collier, Georges Niang, John Tonje, and Oscar Tishwibi. I think I pronounced those all right. Not that any of them really matter much in terms of rotation, other than Collier. But Again, should be a competitive game here, relatively high total. We're looking at guys like Walker Kessler trying a little bit of ownership on DK, obviously can spike his ceiling. Tough to call him a priority. Laurie Markkinen, pretty inconsistent price where he should be. No one really standing out to me here, man. But again, pretty decent total. Don't hate the game environment. It's just all kind of priced where it should be for Utah. So, any Jazz love for you?
Yeah, tough team to prioritize, but I think you mentioned it. I think Kessler is probably my favorite play, especially on DraftKings, where he's a little bit underpriced. And then Laurie always has a ceiling, especially in a pretty close game. So I think them two are fine. All the rest are just tournament plays.
Yep. A few quick things to touch on here. Jose Sensabar or O'Neal. It's O'Neal for me either way, even if Brooks is in. How about you, Smitty?
Yeah, same. Dang,
Um,
that Zion came out already.
yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Barry likes AJ from OKC. Yeah, he's been hot, man. He's very much boomer bust, but as a last piece in to get you some more expensive plays, I don't mind it. And then HB cards here. Appreciate you, my man, saying Zion is out. So what are we going to expect here? I guess we backtrack slightly. Like I said, I think Sadiq Bey is going to go a bit overlooked. He's the one I really want to get to, regardless of whether he starts or not. We're probably going to need that lineup. It could be Queen next to Missy. It could be Makovich, who we saw a lot last year. They do have DeAndre Jordan available now. Not that he's taking Zion's spot or anything like that, but to me, it's going to be Sadiq Bey more than anything. Smitty, how are you going to handle the Pels? Much change for you now?
Yeah, I think their main guys look better now too, just with the
Mm-hmm.
increased
Good point.
usage. They're going to need some ball handling. As gross as it is, I think Jordan Poole on FanDuel makes sense. I don't know. He's probably the one I want to lean away from, but Sadiq Bey, like you said, either way, coming off the bench or starting, looks good. Same with Fears. They can go small here. I expect him to start, but we'll see. I think he looks good. Misi's minutes are pretty secure. And then Herbert Jones is kind of fine, but Trey Murphy should see one of the bigger boosts. So I'm pretty into Trey Murphy as well.
Yeah, I like Murphy. It's just the price has come up on him to a point that even with Zion out, it's a little prohibitive, but I'm fine with it. Um, Luke S., I feel like he asked us a few times. No, it's not a Bronny night, and it's not going to be anytime soon. I
Never.
appreciate you being here, though, man. Kessler or Devo for last guy in? I'm guessing that's DiVincenzo, but he's a lot cheaper. Um, is there another Devo I'm missing, Smitty? I don't know. What are
No,
you
that's
saying here?
probably it. I would
It
probably
would
go
be Kessler.
DiVincenzo and then
Oh,
change.
really? Yeah, well, like if you could use that salary for something, I would go DiVincenzo. I wouldn't want to leave that much on the table though.
Yeah,
So, Jose, does Sensabaugh come off the bench? Let's see here.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's Filipowski and Svi starting, and if Svi goes to the bench, they're probably going to start Ace Bailey soon. So just keep an eye on that. But, and yeah, Svi starts for Utah. Shouts out to Nick. Appreciate you guys helping each other out here and dropping the news in the comments as well. Okogie starting instead of Adams. That's interesting. Still don't really want to play Okogie, but they're probably not playing Steven Adams anymore coming off the bench. All right, let's keep plugging away here, guys. As news breaks, we will touch on all of it. We got the Nuggets taking on the Timberwolves at 9:30. Nuggets favorites on the road here. Minnesota has a lot to talk about, but let's start on the Denver side. I just think it's a little bit easier. No injury report yet from them, so really not much we could get into there. I don't think anyone's going to be questionable. But Jokic is Jokic. At low ownership, he looks good. Like I said, I prefer Wemby, but the model's telling us Joker's probably underowned. Jamal Murray, still a little bit cheap on DK. Fine getting to him. Aaron Gordon's been nuclear at times, but his price is up. Other than that, not much I'm getting to, really. It's just too big of a slate. If anything, it's Jokic, but it would take me a few lineups to get there. Smitty, how are you going to handle the Nuggets here?
Yep. I think it's Jokic and Murray. That's pretty much all I want to play. I'll be overweight on Jokic, even though I'm prioritizing Wemby, especially with some of the value we just got. I think you could even play both in the same lineup. So I'm pretty into getting over the field on Jokic. And then Murray's just kind of a tournament play. He's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, as these as the news comes in on these bigger slates and more value opens, it gets easier and easier to build stars and scrubs. And it's kind of been the way to go a lot of the time early in the season because a lot of these cheap values are actually really solid plays, but something to keep an eye on. Over on the Timberwolves here, we got no Rob Dillingham, or Rob Dillingham's available. Big news, right? No. Anthony Edwards is going to be out for a little bit. So what's that going to do? It's going to boost pretty much everyone. It looks like some sites are projecting Mike Conley to start. It is a back-to-back for Minnesota. Keep in mind that he did sit on back-to-backs a lot last year. He hasn't been playing extended minutes, though. I think he's going to be fine. Not really someone I want to play either way, especially at high ownership. 21% on DK. He is cheap, though. DiVincenzo is the guy that most of the field seems to be flocking to, I think rightfully so. Going to see a huge spike in usage here, regardless of whether or not Conley starts next to him. Just too cheap for what his role should be here, pushing 35 minutes. Looks great. Really, really do like getting to him. Julius Randle's the other one, drawing ownership, but I think he should be as popular, if not more popular, than DiVincenzo, albeit at a higher price point. Those are two that I really have circled. Jaden McDaniels has shown that he could be more of a threat on the offensive end when given the opportunity. I think we see that from him here. Gobert, just not for me on this slate. I mean, he's cheap enough on FanDuel. I just don't know that I want to use my center spot there. And then Naz Reid off the bench is obviously a guy who can spike an upside when given the opportunity. 36 fantasy points in 23 minutes yesterday, obviously. Tough to replicate that, but at his price in tournaments, someone I want to get to. In summary, really rambling here on these Timberwolves, but I think it's worth the time. Really like DiVincenzo, but I think I like Randle even more. Those two are guys I have circled. I'll be mixing in McDaniels, probably a little bit of Reed as well. How about you, Smitty?
Yep, I'm with you on that. I think Julius Randle looks really good. They were just feeding him yesterday, so they probably do more of the same if they want to hang in this game. I think Randle looks pretty good, and then I do like Jaden McDaniels. I think he's pretty good, especially on FanDuel where you get the stocks there. I like him, and then I probably won't play Mike Conley. I'd rather be underweight on Conley. Personally, would just rather play Bones Highland if I'm going that low, and I mean, he could do a lot with his minutes, and he probably has more minutes upside. So I'm fine with getting to Bones as like a contrarian value play. But you said it well. I think Randall is my main priority here, but DiVincenzo's price is nice.
Yep, totally with you. Fields with us as well on that one.
Yep.
All right, guys. So we're through the DK games. We are going to quickly rip through these two FanDuel late games as well. Or if you're playing the late slate on DK, obviously these are going to be included. We get the Memphis Grizzlies here taking on the Golden State Warriors in Golden State. 239.5 point total. Warriors moderate favorites at home. Yeah, on the Grizzlies side, no Brandon Clark or Zach Edey. They're still very thin in the backcourt or in the front court. Excuse me. And then no Ty Jerome or Scottie Pippen or Vince Williams. So, yeah, no new news here, but they are a little bit thin. This kid, Cedric Coward's been an absolute beast off the bench, shooting out of his mind, only playing 23 minutes. But we saw him go 6 for 6 from three against Indiana 2 nights ago. I don't mind maybe mixing him in as a pivot over on FanDuel in tournaments. 0% ownership. You can play him at guard or forward. Not a priority, but again, just a tournament dart. Fine getting to some Ja or Jackson. That's probably going to be it for me, though. But Coward is a young player I didn't really have on my radar much coming into this season. Definitely one I want to keep an eye on moving forward. Hopefully those minutes start to climb a little bit because he's been super, super productive. But, yeah, good game environment, just not the best matchup. Find some Ja, Jackson, a little bit of Coward. How about you, Speak?
Yeah, Coward's a tank. Not really getting there, though. I think Memphis is not really any great plays for me, just more GPP plays. Jaren Jackson's probably my favorite.
Yep, I'm with you. Javon Small is another young player on this team. They did a great job drafting, the Grizzlies did. So those two I definitely want to keep an eye on. Too big of a slate to really get there tonight. Over on the Warriors side of things, Al Horford's going to be out. No DeAnthony Melton or Alex Tui. Steph is Steph. Obviously has massive upside regardless of matchup. We've seen Jimmy playing pretty well. Feels a little bit cheap on FanDuel where he is on the main slate. As long as Kuminga continues to start, you could make a case for him. I think now that the price is up almost 1K from opening night, a little bit tough for me to get there. Can make a case for Draymond as well. Again, he does spike ceilings from time to time, but we have him around 28 minutes. So at his price, just really not a ton of meat on the bone. Smitty, how much love do you have for these Warriors here?
None really. I think a couple of them are GPP plays. Like Kaminga's probably my favorite. You're always fine playing Steph, but mainly Kaminga here, point per dollar was.
Nice. Yeah, he's been productive. Last game here on FanDuel, we got the Blazers taking on the Lakers. Lakers at home are slight underdogs here against Portland. Let's start on the Portland side. We got a lot to talk about for the Lakers, but no Scoot Henderson still. Obviously, no Damian Lillard. Tyball's questionable. Robert Williams is out, so nothing crazy as far as news goes there. My favorite player is going to be Drew. I mean, his usage, his role, he's just been a beast with these Blazers as kind of the vet presence, just really kind of quarterbacking this team. I like him a lot. Fine getting to him. Denny obviously has plenty of upside. 7,800 does feel reasonable for him. So those are the two I have circled. You can make a case for Sharp Kumar, even Klingon maybe, but really, really like Drew here. I'm surprised he's not more popular. Smitty, how you feeling about the Blazers?
Yeah, I like Drew as well. Lakers have really struggled to primary ball handlers, probably even worse now, but I don't know. It might be about the same. I like Drew quite a bit. His minutes have been good, and he's been really productive. So I like getting there. And then you could always take a shot on like Shaden Sharp or Denny. I think I like Denny a little bit more than Shaden tonight. So it's probably a Denny and Drew for me.
Yep, right there with you. Okay, now the Lakers we got to talk about here. So no Luca, no Hayes, no LeBron, no Cleaver, no Smart, no Gabe Vincent. We got the question if it's a Bronny night. I personally don't think so. He is in the model for I think the first time this year getting 13 minutes though. So if you're a stan of the James family, go ahead, but it's not for me. The one play you need to get here, even with Kamara defense, even in a tough matchup, is Austin Reeves. He's been an absolute beast with Luca and LeBron out for pretty much his entire time in LA with those guys available. And DeAndre Ayton finally looks like a basketball player with this team. It's funny, I heard an interview. It sounds like they troll him pregame, like they give him a ton of shit to piss him off. So he goes out and actually cares about basketball, which is stupid that you have to do that for a professional athlete. But hey, it's been working. Jake LaRavia looked good last night. 32 minutes, 28 fantasy points. I'm fine getting to him as well. Reeves is the priority here, though. I do like Ayton a lot at his price. And then LaRavia, go for it. Mix him in as value. I think if you're trying to jam in studs, he's a good way to open things up. Smitty, how you breaking down the Lakers?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think the main guys, and then Rui is worth
Mm-hmm.
mixing in as well. I think he looks like a pretty solid play, but Reeves is my favorite. Laravia is going to see pretty good minutes here, and then Connect is in play on FanDuel. He's 3,900, so I think he's someone you can mix in. He's pretty much going to have to play minutes here, so pretty into the main guys, and then him and DeAndre Ayton's price is just pretty terrible, so pretty into getting to Ayton again.
Yeah, for sure. Whoever plays for the four for Philly, Paul is fading. I'm with you, man. I don't have interest in Edwards or who was it, Jabari Walker. Good college player. Frankie Lofton, who are the values on DK? And we're getting who are the must plays on DK. Easiest way to kind of answer that question is to just go ahead and do a dummy build. So let's go ahead. Smitty, I think we're starting with Wemby, right? He's our guy tonight.
Yep.
All right, where are we going from here? Do we need DiVincenzo, Randall? I mean, I'm fine with both.
Yeah, we could go
Um,
Bull.
yeah. Yeah, and again, I think DiVincenzo might be a little bit overowned, but I don't know. With no Edwards, you have to think that role is what it needs to be. Throw another name or two at me if you got him.
We could go with Trey Jones.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
love Trey Jones.
Either let's see. I was gonna say Edge, or we could go Dylan Harper or Edgecombe somewhere in there.
I like both. I mean, we could throw them both in, and then I'll throw Sadiq Bey.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's going to start, but I think regardless, he's going to see a huge increase in his role here. So let's get Sadiq, and I think that's going to allow us another pay up. No, not at all. We got 4,800 left. I can't do math, but I was looking at the wrong number. We got Wiggins, Ao, Barnes. None of these guys are really standing out to me, man. Wallace is okay. Herder is fine. Anyone at this 4,500
Royce
price?
Royce
Drummond?
O'Neal's 44. Yeah, Drummond.
Royce. Yeah, I like Drummond, but if we get word that Brooks is out, then it would definitely be Royce. But yeah, I like Drummond here. This is a really good build, and this is similar to what I think I built pre-stream. We also got Grimes here. More of a
Oh yeah.
FanDuel play. Don't mind Grimes on FanDuel on DK. Probably not. We got the time here. Let's go ahead and do a quick FanDuel build as well. Let's start with Reeves. I think he's kind of necessary. I'm going to throw in Drew as well, just from that late game, before I forget him. Um, but yeah, let's jam Wemby as we do.
Wemby,
Any other
probably
names over
Ayton,
here? Mm-hmm.
and then I guess DiVincenzo,
Yeah, he's even cheaper over here.
Grimes.
Yeah, Grimes' price is kind of crazy.
Uh, Edgecombe.
5'7". I like Edgecombe. He's too cheap. Pretty easy to build. I mean, I don't know if base starts. I think he's a no-brainer, but I don't want to force everyone to play him. It's kind of a stand I want to take, but yeah, let's see what it gets us. We throw in Sadiq. We get 6,800 for a forward. Something like this. I mean, yeah. I would love to get to Randall, so maybe we punt where we have Sadiq. That leaves us 43.
I think we could fit like Laravia or
Yeah, Laravia.
somebody.
That's a beauty. Chef's kiss. Love it. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think we got any other crazy news coming in. Have you seen anything?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Cool. Yeah, guys, keep an eye on lineups. Jabari Walker is starting for the Sixers. That's a no for me, for sure. Shouts out Mac McClung. He'll be in the dunk contest, signing a multi-year contract with the Pacers. They are waiving James Wiseman, so yeah, that was not the best first-round pick. Yeah, Merrill starting. Hunter is available. Again, I don't mind Sam Merrill, but you're going to kind of handcuff yourself from later news. But yeah, Smitty, any last thoughts before we get out of here? I think we crushed it once again, my friend.
Yep. Now, good luck tonight.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Check out the links in the description below. Get behind that paywall. Get access to multi-lineup builder. We're always in Discord chopping it up. I think is it Jayhawk today going live in a little bit?
No, I'll be in there.
Oh, Smitty double duty. So you want more from Smitty? Get behind that paywall. I'm gonna let him go now and jump in there. But I appreciate you guys. Have fun. Take care.